Welcome to WTF, the only askreddit channel that will blow your mind. Like and subscribe right now to support Pepe's career as an independent musician. Askreddit. What is the most disturbing current social trend you have noticed? I was on a Greyhound bus a few months ago, and I was sitting 4 rows up from the last one with my headphones in. I heard a bunch of people freaking out a few rows behind me, so I paused my music, stood up and looked back to see a guy completely purple and non-responsive laid out across 2 seats, with other passengers frantically trying to wake him up. They screamed at the bus driver, and we pulled over on the side of the highway, and within a few minutes, there was a sheriff on board hitting the guy with Narcan, with absolutely no response. The sheriff starts to perform CPR, and the passengers around him start to cry, scream, and just generally freak out. And as this is all going down, I look back toward the front of the bus and all I see is a bunch of people with their phones out filming it, and for me, that was the most ducked up part about it. So yeah, I'd say that. I'm an EMT, and when we do trainings now I like to be the idiot with the phone pretending to film, because there is always an idiot in the way trying to film. Instagram teen models. I coach a team new travel volleyball. At the start of the season we played some get to know each other games. One player last year said her goal was to be an Instagram influencer. I laughed out loud and started joking her, then had to backpedal when I realized she was dead serious. I was genuinely shocked this was a thing. Parenting for the gram. People who pretty much punish their kid by humiliating them on camera so it goes viral. It may work in some cases, but I can't see a situation where your kid won't end up holding some resentment for you. It bothers me so much to see people sharing videos of parents punishing their child. Maybe the parent is practicing a perfectly logical and fair punishment, but then they film it and share it for the world to see. At that point they're only interested in the likes, not the child's well-being. Look at what a good parent I am. I don't tolerate X behavior. But they are totally unconcerned with the shame they are inflicting. Or sometimes that's even an intentional part of the punishment. It's just a really gross version of virtue signaling. GoFundMe everything with absolutely ridiculous goals. One of my friends did a GoFundMe for a boob job. I felt about 100 years old thinking, is this acceptable now? In my day, if we couldn't afford something we just didn't buy it. Is this what people do now? Insist they have access to luxury services just because they deserve them? People not using headphones or earbuds while watching videos or listening to music in public. I know it seems small, but it shows a total lack of respect for literally everyone around you. It indicates that you're prioritizing your own needs over the needs of society. Everyone around you has to be uncomfortable so that you can watch some stupid YouTube video or listen to a song you like. It's so rude. It's incredibly disrespectful. It shows a complete lack of consideration for people who may have sensory issues. It's just bad all around. As a flight attendant I'm the headphone Nazi. I tell them they have 2 choices, headphones or mute. I say it kindly, but firmly, and I rarely get pushback. Sometimes the parents of small children complain that earbuds hurt their kids' ears. To which I say again, headphones or mute, no exceptions. Pranks that can cause physical or mental harm to someone, then stating, it's a prank. I grabbed a milk jug off somebody who was trying to record a gallon smashing prank and gave him the stink eye because he was going to smash it, so the milk splashed on me and people with me. I held onto it like a football player who wasn't going to give up the ball and wouldn't let him take it back. He called me a retarded bitch for ruining his prank. I didn't ruin shit. He wanted to ruin my family's day in their clothes. My Facebook feed has become overrun with people who claim to be entrepreneurs starting their own businesses. It's all MLM scams and people disguising themselves as personal health coaches or beauticians. It's so gross. Ads being crammed everywhere, and how streaming services are popping up left and right. Leela, didn't you have ads in the 20th century? Fry, well sure, but not in our dreams. Only on TV and radio, and in magazines, and movies. And at ball games, on buses, and milk cartons, and t-shirts, and bananas, and written on the sky. But not in dreams. No siree. Rage snowballing. By that I mean when a small group of people are pissed off by something small, and then other people jump on the bandwagon And before you know it, the target of their rage becomes the worst thing ever and everyone hates it. A lot of people jumping on the hate bandwagon have had no bad experiences, they are just latching on to all the other bad experiences they see because of the nature of complaints on the internet. Since negative comments tend to be highly visible and appear to be a higher percentage of people than actual numbers would suggest, I see a lot of things I really love get hate bombed on the internet. I'm not saying complaints aren't valid, but they get taken to extreme proportions. People running red lights long after the light has changed, sometimes several cars doing it together. This is a huge issue where I live. You do not go when the light turns green, because upwards of 4 cars are going to run that red light. I've seen it happen right in front of cop cars. No one cares. People around here drive like huge selfish assholes. Running red lights is just a fraction of the issue. I don't have Snapchat, but a friend of mine was on it, and she showed me a map of her friends' locations that also have Snapchat. That freaked me the duck out. Why do we need to know where everyone is all the time? No wonder FOMO is a big anxiety factor now. People posting selfies that they allegedly took by accident. People having a phone conversation on speakerphone in a confined public space, i.e. on a bus. Harvesting living people's organs in China, killing prisoners of conscience for their organs. The average waiting time for a liver transplant in the US is 1300 days. The average time for that same liver transplant in China is 15 days. Yes, this sounds like dystopian fiction, but it's not. It was a big plot point in one of the interviews in World War Z. One way the zombie virus spread to South America via organ transplant that came from China. The frequency at which parents post pictures of their children on the internet. I feel like people don't really realize just how creepy that is. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen often, but I'm sure there are folders out there on pedophiles' computers full of pictures of children they take off social media, and I hope to God that my 2-year-old nephew isn't in any of those folders. But like, that is a thing that happens. Pedophiles aren't always creepy old men down the street. Sometimes they're family members or coworkers, classmates or old colleagues. And like, even apart from that, I would be mortified to be growing up in the challenging middle school high school puberty years knowing that anyone from my school could easily snag my baby photos and videos off the internet. Did all these new parents forget how embarrassing that stuff is as a teenager? Was I the only 15-year-old who dreaded my mom talking about embarrassing kid photos when I would bring a girl over? Nowadays, the girl doesn't even need to have a parent give that information. It's just online for the world to see. Being a teenager is hard and confusing and miserable. You don't need to throw kindling on that already raging fire of hormones and self-loathing. Sure, as an adult I realize it's pretty inconsequential as I haven't seen many people from my high school in years, but as a teen in school, your social life is 8 hours a day 5 days a week. It's a huge part of your life and is something you have to deal with for years, and the window your peers get into your life feels like a really big deal at the time. It's like your privacy of the innocence of your childhood is being aired on the internet for anyone to see. Actually, it's not like that, it is that. And no, having your Facebook set to private or friends only does not counteract this. No, being selective about who you accept friend requests from doesn't either. I'm so glad I was born before the age of social media. The norming of social media, especially Facebook. I've been told a few times in the last year that it's perceived as weird that I don't have a FB account, that my business isn't seen as genuine if it doesn't have a FB account. It seems to be getting to the stage where people suspect you're some kind of weirdo if they can't find you on Facebook. Nope. I'm just the one minding his own business. I don't care what everyone else does on social media, but I shouldn't be having to make excuses and convince people I'm not some sort of deviant. Alexa. My parents and my sister both have it. They were talking about connecting the two and my sister said something along the lines of her being able to connect to my parents' house and listen in without them knowing about it. Duck that. I can see the benefit of having everything in your house connected to it, but I'm never owning one because duck that. And yes, I realize that it's possible for people to spy on me through my phone also. I'm with you. I know all my tech is spying on me, but Alexa and home products like that just seem insanely invasive. It scares me how awesome everyone thinks it is. YouTube reality stars. Children especially are addicted to this rubbish. For example, eating food in front of a microphone, opening toy boxes, and playing with them, eating candy from different countries. Reaction: OMG, it tasted like sugar, a family staging a shocking life moment. Pure brown BS. It's like the younger generation now has an attention span of 5 to 10 minutes. We are getting more and more okay with having zero privacy. It has almost been indoctrinated in us. We hear about all these privacy breaches and just shrug, or don't even pay attention anymore. The amount of data given up, just by having your location services on your phone. I turned mine off after reading a report on LinkedIn yesterday. I got 3 emails that afternoon from some apps telling me to turn it on and all the great stuff I was missing out on. It is really strange that we are going into this world so willingly and happy to do it. All the horror stories of old are now, well, my friends can see me on my Snapchat map. Kind of trivial, but any expression of online narcissism, either an intellectual one, for instance, people constantly trying to come up with smart comments on Facebook/Twitter. Imagine someone making one-liners every 30 seconds in real life, would be obnoxious. Or Instagram/Snapchat posts showing how beautiful they are / how cool the thing they are doing right now is. 2. The amount of depression memes and stuff like that. I'm not saying these people aren't depressed, but it makes light of something that should be taken seriously. It's also something kids seem to be proud of. Same with anxiety. People recording everything just to have 15 minutes of fame. This includes people who are ducking assholes and posting them being well assholes and posting it for attention. Additionally, I see a lot of videos with people who are obviously mentally ill. Yeah, it may be wild and crazy and entertaining, but these people are people who obviously need help. There are tons of crazy homeless people around where I live, and I see them doing crazy shit, but it doesn't mean I need to bank off of that. They are people who need help. They aren't some show for your entertainment, so you can mock and ridicule them. This does not include people who are assholes and get caught like that permit patty bitch. People like that can duck off lol and deserve the hate they get lol. People buy a ticket to see their favorite band. They wait for their favorite part in their favorite song to take out their phone and watch it through a little screen. Social media facilitating the spread of hyper-simplified solutions to incredibly complex societal problems. Illegal immigration is a thing. Let's just build a wall. People aren't paid enough. Let's just pay them more. People's lives being utterly destroyed by something they said or did on social media going viral. All it takes is one off-color remark and the outcry on social media spreads like wildfire. Once a major news network picks it up, it's all over but the crying. Thanks for tuning in for this WTF Red episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the one and only askreddit channel that will blow your mind every time.